it will be of great importance for the Commission and the Committee of the Senate, and indeed the Senate and the National Assembly, to find means and measure of putting heads and hands together to see to the possible realization of a possible census within the shortest time possible. And we accepted 2019 is out because it's an election year, but between the Committee of the Senate and indeed the Commission, we agreed and accepted in that pre-oversight meeting that we may wish to propose 2020 for a possible census year following the election year, and indeed part of what the sister agency INEC is likely to get involved with under the election is likely to complement directly or indirectly the activity of the Commission as far as the issue of the Nigerian census is concerned. So we consummated and agreed in that pre-oversight meeting, and indeed in our oversight outing with the management of the Commission, when we came out that yes, there are some activity pattern. We all agreed. The Commission on one side will take them up, drive them, and there are other activity pattern the Senate will take up and drive them, so that we work towards the possible realization of the 2020 year as the possible year for census. Thirdly, the issue bordering on recruitment of workers for the onerous duties of the Commission within the headquarters and indeed within the country, those that have been done, how it was done, and we felt we have some little observations which we wanted to put heads together with the Commission, because like we said in that pre-oversight meeting, of great note is the exercise of recruitment in 2017, which between the Commission and the Committee of the Senate, we had some salient observations and issues which we put forward for the attention of the Commission. Hence, recruitment exercise were done in 2018, and we felt it is of interest to the Senate, it is of interest to the committee, it is of interest to the Nigerian people that we wish to put face up and open the process, how it was done, what was done, so that our observations and some of the anomalies that we observed can be normalized. That is the third issue. Under the pre-oversight visit, we agreed with you, DG, and part of the management staff that came here. 4, we observed during the pre-oversight meeting that the registration of births and deaths is one of the very key, prominent, primary function of the Commission. And it is indeed prominent and primary because the Nigerian Constitution, among other relevant statutes, has made a mention of that exercise as a policy, that exercise as one key major function of the Commission, leaving the Commission and indeed the processes implement the civic registration exercise for the benefit and betterment of our general population in Nigeria. That fourth item is definitely the only one item why these two sisters of ours on our invitation are here, because you remember in our oversight DG, when Mr. Chairman, you were not there, but the DG was there and other management staff were there, we raised the issue of contributions of some of the multilateral agencies in the very statutory duty of the Commission. And I remember we took some time to scrutinize those contributions, when they were made, when they were received, part of what they were used for, what was standing in balance, and things like that. But akin to that was the issue of the PPP arrangement, which the Commission went into with a private tour. A company existing in Nigeria under the name of whatever, I can't remember the full-blown name, but under the name of a company for which, like we have said, in that oversight outing in the Commission before everyone, I led to say we were never contacted. We never knew. The National Assembly was never contacted. And we felt we are major stakeholders in that outing. Representing the people, representing indeed the very key status of welfare of what the people represented should have. We had very key observations, hence the reason why in this meeting we also invited the Commission to invite the company in question so that we have an interface of ideas, x-ray what has been done, see what has been done right. If there are things that have been done wrongly, mistakenly, or whatever, we find the square root of how best and better to normalize the anomaly. By way of review, I have gone over reason why this meeting today is holding, reason why our friends and partners are here, knowing why definitely part of the management of Circuit Works Limited were invited to this meeting. Like I have said, for the purpose of this meeting, we will split into two. There are things that does not concern Circuit Works. There are things that does not concern our two sisters here, which is to do completely with other day-to-day duties of the Commission. And I will want to beg the indulgence of Circuit Works Management and our sisters to please be taken to my office. Let them please wait for us. When we come to that item of the agenda, we please re-invite you back, and that is the issues bordering on the civic registration duties and exercise which the PPP arrangement is encapsulating. I hope, while I also welcome you, I also wish to please ask for your indulgence. You please take your time off. You wait for us in my office.
Of course, as the chairman has pointed out, census taking is the major business of the Commission. But this uncertainty about when to do census is not helping matters. The uncertainty, is it next year, is it next 2 years, is it next 3 years, it's not helping matters. That is something I think, again, this committee can do something about. By fixing a periodicity, amending the law, and ensuring that, yes, all over the world, censuses are held in most countries every 10 years. Let the Nigerian case be the same. If there is a law to that effect, it will help matters. There is a law that requires that elections will take place every 4 years, and everybody is following, upholding that law. And again, one other benefit, because elections are held every 4 years, if INEC makes a mistake in one election, it can correct it in another election. Staff of the Population Commission don't seem to have that advantage. If there was a mistake made in 2006, those who made that mistake, I can assure you now, most of them have left. So, how will people learn if this thing is not held regularly? So, I beg you to do something about the law and reflect this change. And of course, the importance of census taking is so well known that it needs no further emphasis. So, fixing a date will further enable this country to realize the immense benefits that flow from census taking. And additionally, or finally on this point, there is need for an annual incremental budgetary provision for the Commission with respect to these activities, particularly census taking. If census, because at the end of every census, the preparation for another census must start. But oftentimes, that is not the case. We wait until a year or 2 or 3 to the census before preparations are held. It's not healthy. So, sir, those are the things I want to bring to your notice. And, well, you asked me why is it emotional, and I promise to share it with you later on. I'll share it with you, but not in public glare. So thank you very much for this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you very much, I think by way of very quick response to that, I totally agree with you. You are endowed very, very wonderful your borderline. They didn't tell you. Thank you very much.